Right everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is just a starting intro, just to let you know that this video is an epic fail. So, but we're going to get into the video in a second. But yeah, it was just really a case of, it was promising. There was some promising potential, but yeah, it just was a complete fail. But nevertheless, please watch the video and I'll catch you in a mo. Right, good afternoon everybody. We are back on the DS3 today. So we're going to fit an air filter today. It's not actually meant for this car, so let me show you that now. We might run into a few problems, but I'm hoping, fingers crossed, it will work out and it should sound phenomenal. So let's get on it. Let me show you what's going on. So this is the Dorenza kit. Now this is for a Peugeot 207, but the nice thing is, I'm hoping this is going to work. It comes with a full kit, comes with a frame, so it actually sits in a box, and it has a really nice lid to it with the word. Let me show you that, if I can get that out. Look at that. So we're going to try and make this work, and it comes with a nice air filter as well. Like so, and we've got all the tubing. Now this is going to come off, I'll show you that now actually. Now this is going to come off the turbo, which is here. The idea is we're going to remove this section, we're going to move the MAF down, we're going to cut this wire slightly, or the tape, to give us enough movement in it, and hopefully house it just here. So we're going to put the silicone hose coming off the turbo, we're going to house the MAF, and then the air filter coming off that. Now I have been told this is not for this car, and the probability is it won't work. And we may get some readings on the dash. Let's just see. I could just buy a silicone hose just to replace this and keep everything standard, but we're looking for noise, so we're going to try this method and see if it works. So let's get on it, and hopefully this is going to work out. Right guys, let's get on it. So yeah, as I say, been told that this really isn't, or shouldn't, I should keep it standard and just replace this, but we're going to try our luck and see what happens. The guys over at Plug One Off have said that this here, I think you can just push that and unclip that. I will need to just put something on that to stop any dust going in there. But yeah, we could throw up some problems on the dash, so we'll see. We're not going to go crazy and remove everything, so if this doesn't work, we'll just put it back. But it doesn't look too complicated, so let's get all the tools we need and get this out. Right, we'll just pop this out, screwdriver just to lift it up, and that will pop out. That then frees this like so. Guessing this is slightly clipped in. Right, yeah, so that should just pop off nice and simple. In fact, for the moment, I think I might just put that back in there so we don't lose anything. Just pop that in there. Right, That's exposed. This part, that's obviously sitting on. Okay, we're going to pull this out and take this out. We're going to leave everything else in. That should give us enough space, I think, and then get this off. Right, well that was pretty simple. Just a little clip there, just here, and then this part just literally pops off. Right, so we've exposed that now, and then we just need to get this off. So we're just going to do some unclipping and make sure we don't damage anything. Right, we're just going to undo the Jubilee clip. So we'll get that loose, and then we've got to get to that. I don't think I've got. I might have to try and. I've got something. I might have to use these, which aren't really suitable, but they might not hold it. But they're normally pretty tough. So let's get that off, and then this sensor here just pops off. Literally, you just pull it up, and it pops off. And then we're not too far, to be fair. I've got to undo this Jubilee clip up here, and just unclip this. Right. Right, so we just pop this off. Just move this out of the way, and this wire on here, this just flips up like this. Just move that Jubilee clip undone and undone here. So this should better rock this out, I think, unless it's mounted on anything else. Just pull this hose off first to give it movement, and then let's just pull that pipe out. Right guys, that was really simple. So we've just literally wiggled that off, and now the whole pipe can come out. We'll set that down there for the minute. Right, need a bit of cleaning doing, but this is where we are so far. What we're going to do is we're going to potentially leave this in, and we've got actually a big shout out to MTech. They've provided a couple of. So I've asked them to supply me what they do with their kit, the following. So hopefully we're going to use these on the end to go onto the tubing, but we'll see if that works. Right, I might grab something to just wipe this down, and then we're going to fit the pipe. Right, we've just undone the meth. We're just going to move that over. Let's get it unplugged and take that out, and then we just need to trim down this so we can get the space to bring it over here. God, I hope this works. Right, let's go. Right, what we are going to have to do is be extremely careful with making sure we put the meth on the right way. So you can see the arrow and obviously how it bolts anyway, but obviously we're moving it down, so I'm guessing we're going to want that pointing. If that's going down, then we're going to want to point that way. Yeah. Right, okay, well that was a bit of precision work there. So we've just undone the tape, being extremely careful. So we're going to wrap that back up in a minute and wrap this. I think that's just given us enough to get down to where we want it to be, but being very, very careful not to damage any wiring, or we would have no car. So I think that's just enough to clip that in there, and then we'll tidy that up, electrical tape it up, and get some nice braided corded tape. It's like a cloth tape, I think. Right, I think we are almost in a position to potentially try and get this pipe on and see if this is going to work. Right, just got the kit out. So this is the tube. It's going to go off the turbo. And then the idea is we need to build the cage part as well, but I'm hoping this is going to fit onto here, push onto there, and then that gives us a fitment to go into here, which I think it's going to work. If this cut actually works, it's going to be amazing. Right, so let's get this fitted. Right, well that actually just pushes onto that perfectly, which is fantastic. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to put it on the silicone first, because that'll be far easier to just push that on than it will be on the other side. Right, so let's get that done into the silicone. Right, so we pushed that end onto the silicone. I probably would have liked to go a little bit further on, but it's definitely in. Now, because I think on the 307 it actually has a blanking plate, so you just blank it off, but we need to use it, so we need to attach it to the pipe. So this is the frame. We are going to have this part as well that sits in this tube here, but I think what we're going to do is we're going to try and do it off the MAF. So we're going to see if this works. If not, we won't use this part, but let's just see as we build it. And there's no fitting instructions in the box, which is rather annoying, so I'm going to have to go online and just check how to install it. Right guys, we need to build the frame. So this is the base, so it goes like that. Then we use the bracket, which fits onto here. I think this goes on here, like so. And then the bracket goes on there with a screw. So let's get that bit done. Right, like so. That goes on there. I'm guessing some of these strips, I don't know what these are for. I'm guessing they would probably go along here, but yeah, let's just try and work this out. As I say, it's a bit stupid really, because there's no fitting instructions. Would be probably a good idea if they had some, but there you go. Right, let's just work it out. Okay, so this is going to be in the way, so we're going to need to unclip that. So we're just going to undo this bolt here, and then it should just unclip from the back. Just need a bit more space to get the hose on. So yeah, as you can see, put the hose on here. It won't go any further, and it's just going to hit, so we need to move that. Well, let's get that out of the way. Okay, so we've just undone that. I'm going to put that back just to keep it safe, and then this literally just pulls out. So I'll move that out of the way. More plastic piping. There we go. Right, we'll just get this bolt done up so we don't lose that, and then we should be able to get this silicone hose on now. Right. Let's go. Right guys, so that's kind of how it's going to sit. So yeah, it goes straight onto the turbo. Then we're going to, in fact, let's put the other tube on here, and then that should fit nicely into his. And let's get a Jubilee clip for that as well. Okay, so we know that fits, which is good. So hopefully we're getting there. Okay, well this Jubilee clip is no way going to fit over this, but it's in pretty far. And in fact I put it as far as I need it, so when we put it onto here, it's a snug fit, so you actually don't see any of that. I potentially might try and push this in a little bit. Oops, sorry. Might push this pipe in a little bit further, but it's still going to be exposed because it just clips onto the end. So I might try and push that down a bit further actually. But we'll have to get a Jubilee clip just for safety, I think. But it should be okay. Would have been nice if the Renza actually fitted or supplied a better fitting Jubilee clip. I mean, look at the state of that. I mean, that's pretty shoddy work. I mean, just to have a size to go on the end of this silicone would make sense. But they just supply these two, which are well oversized, and it looks like that. So we might have to change that, although potentially we're not going to see it, but it just looks a bit shoddy. Right, let's get this on to the turbo now, and then we can put the housing, or potentially I might have to put the housing in first. Right, let's have a look. Right guys, I'm just about to do this up on the turbo. This fits nicely here. This is a little bit not quite, so we're gonna have to take that back a little bit. There's not much flex in this pipe, so that doesn't sit that flush, and I've pushed that now into as far as it will go, so we can't go any further on that. I mean, it's right on the end, so that's not going anywhere further back, which is a shame, because it'd be nice to sit that flush. So we could have done with that actually being maybe, I don't know, centimetre, maybe 2 centimetres shorter. But let's get this Jubilee clip done up and put this on, and then we can then get the housing in. Right, we're just going to pop this out. I've just taken this off here, again just a screwdriver underneath just to pop it up, and then it just pops off. Hopefully this will just come out. Yeah, give us a bit more space, and then we can hopefully get, we're going to try and get the actually I'm going to put that back in there, keep that in there. Hopefully we can get this frame in there. Well, let's see. Right, actually now putting the frame in, this clip that I just left in down there, that is a direct fit where that bolt is. So actually I might bolt that through there, because then that won't move. Maybe that's the intention, because it certainly sits in the right place. So let's get that out and put the screw straight through that. Okay guys, yeah, I think it would make sense for it to be bolted through there, but just it's impossible. So it would make sense. But to try and get that through without losing everything, I think I'm just going to give up. So let's just continue and getting this fitted, and then we can always come back to that worst case scenario. Right guys, I've kind of fucked this up. Now, because I'm having to use the MAF, what that means is I can't use this, which this goes onto the turbo, and then that goes into the air filter. Not realizing my mistake till now, this end is not the same size as the MAF. So I've squeezed on the air filter, which has split slightly there because it's too small. So that's not good anyway. So we would need a bigger size hole to fit it onto the MAF. And then this side, the MAF to the turbo, we're going to see if we can get, this has a little rubber seal. If we can't get that onto the rubber hose, then the seal is not going to be that good. So this could all fail, and we might have to end up putting all this back. Yeah. Right guys, I think this is a bit of a failure, which is pretty sad really. I have got it clipped onto the housing, but I don't think it's a good fit, and therefore we're probably going to get an air leak and issues. but I'm going to plug it in and just see anyway, and then put everything back. What a shame. But there you go, that's why they said don't do it. But I didn't listen. But there you go. So we're going to have to put all this stuff back in a second, but in the meantime let's just plug this in and switch it on anyway, just to see. Right, let's just do it. Let's turn it on, see what happens. As I say, it's probably going to blow up, but here we go. Definitely doesn't like that. No. Didn't like that at all. Warnings all over the place. No, he's not happy, but it does sound good. Oh well. Let's turn it off. That's a shame. It's a shame. Oh well, let's put it all back. But it did sound good. Oh. Oh well. Right guys, although this is an epic fail, what I've decided to do is just test it without the math on, which is probably a really bad idea. But just to give you an example of what could be achieved, if you could try and work this out. And weirdly, there's nothing on the dash, so at the moment, I don't think this is a great idea. Probably do the turbo a bit damage. There's no math sensor on it. Oh well, let's get it all back. Right guys, I'm putting everything back. It's probably not safe to run it, absolutely not safe to run it without a math, with a car that actually has a math. So yeah, I'm just going to put everything back, and then we're going to go and purchase a silicone hose that comes off here. At least that way we're not messing with the car, the turbo, and making any damage to it. So let's get everything back. So a bit of a fail in some respects, which is a shame, but then it was always worth a go. So let's get this put back together, and then we'll go from there. I've just used the top plate for the moment, just to add some character to the engine bay, and I've left this pipe off, so the air is directly coming out of there now, and straight to that pipe. So I've left that curvature off, but this is an epic fail video, so we're going to go back to the drawing board and order one of these silicone hoses, but I quite like the Differenza plate that sits in there, even though it's not actually doing anything, but there you go. In fact, actually it probably deflects some of the airflow. Probably not, but anyway, is what it is. Absolute epic fail for this video, so do not do what I've just done. Right guys, that's where we're going to end this video. Yeah, as you see, a complete fail, which is a shame. I was hoping to do something different, but nevertheless, sometimes different isn't always great. But there's still potential that it could work, but it just means I haven't got the right parts, and now I know a bit more about what I was trying to do. So potentially we can still come off the turbo, but I need to solve how to get the MAF onto the onto that hose, and then also a filter to come off the MAF, but which again is doable. That's the same thing that we do on an ST. So I do that already on my ST. You know, that is something that can be done. So we just got to work that bit out. So we're going to need a slightly larger filter. So we'll look at that. We'll explore that option, and then maybe we can make that work. This sounds epic. Listen.